Warren Buffett's first investment story. What if I told you that the greatest investor of all time, the man who built a fortune of over $100 billion, once made a terrible first investment? Yes, Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha, the man admired by presidents, CEOs, and millions of ordinary people, started his journey not with brilliance, but with a mistake. This is not just a story about money, it's a story about patience, fear, discipline, and wisdom. And it's a lesson that could change the way you look at success forever. Warren Buffett wasn't born into luxury. He grew up in Omaha, Nebraska, during the Great Depression, a time when money was scarce and families struggled just to get by. While other kids dreamed of becoming baseball stars or firefighters, Warren had a different dream. From the moment he could count, numbers fascinated him. He would memorize statistics, study the daily newspaper, and wonder about how businesses made money. At an age when most children cared about toys, Warren cared about stocks, investments, and profits. By the time he was 11 years old, he had already made up his mind. He didn't just want to earn money, he wanted to make money work for him. So, with his small savings carefully set aside, he walked into a brokerage office with his sister Doris. The office smelled of ink, paper, and nervous energy, the smell of dreams being tested in the market. There, Warren made his very first purchase, 3 shares of Citi Service preferred stock, at $38 each. Imagine it, an 11-year-old boy, with round glasses and nervous hands, clutching his first stock certificate as if it were a golden ticket. In his mind, this was the beginning of something big. He was convinced he was on his way to building a fortune. But life has a way of testing us. Almost immediately after Warren bought his shares, the stock price dropped. It fell from $38 down to $27. For a boy who had worked so hard to save, this was devastating. Each day, he checked the paper and felt a knot in his stomach. He worried he had made a terrible mistake. His family wasn't wealthy. Losing money wasn't just disappointing, it was terrifying. But then, slowly, the price began to recover. It crept back up to $38. Then to $39. Then finally to $40. Warren felt relief flood his chest. He couldn't bear the fear anymore. So he sold. He sold all 3 shares at $40, making a tiny profit. For a moment, he felt victorious. But just weeks later, the unimaginable happened. That same stock skyrocketed to over $200 a share. Warren was stunned. By selling too early, he had missed out on a fortune. A life-changing gain had slipped through his fingers. The lesson hit him like a thunderbolt. His fear and impatience had cost him dearly. That first investment taught Warren something he would never forget. He realized that the stock market was not just about numbers, it was about human behavior. He had panicked at the first sign of loss. He had rushed at the first glimpse of profit. And because of that, he missed the real reward. At only 11 years old, Warren made himself a promise: he would never again let fear dictate his actions. He would never again sell too soon just to feel safe. Instead, he would master patience. He would think long-term. He would let time do the heavy lifting. This mistake became the cornerstone of his philosophy. Years later, he would sum it up in one famous sentence: the stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. But Warren knew that one painful lesson wasn't enough. If he wanted to become great, he needed knowledge, mentors, and experience. As a teenager, he was restless with ambition. He delivered newspapers every morning, often earning more than his teachers made. He sold chewing gum, soda, golf balls, and used pinball machines, anything that could bring in profit. Every penny he earned, he saved. And every dollar he saved, he studied how to invest. One day, he came across a book that would change his life forever, The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham. Reading it was like discovering a secret code to the stock market. Graham's philosophy was simple yet profound: don't speculate. Don't gamble. Don't chase hype. Instead, buy solid businesses at fair prices and hold them. Warren instantly knew this was the path he needed. He became determined to learn from Graham directly. Warren enrolled at Columbia Business School, where Benjamin Graham taught. Imagine the excitement, the boy who once sold too early now sitting at the feet of the men who wrote the very book that unlocked his mind. Under Graham, Buffett learned how to analyze financial statements, how to judge management, and how to see beyond short-term fluctuations. But above all, he learned how to control his emotions. Graham taught, in the short run, the market is a voting machine. In the long run, it is a weighing machine. This meant that while the market might swing wildly because of fear or excitement, in the end, true value always shines through. Those words became Buffett's compass. Combined with his own painful memory of city service, they gave him a complete philosophy: buy value. Hold patiently. Ignore the noise. Armed with this wisdom, Warren began investing more seriously. At first, the results weren't dramatic. Some investments went well, others not so much. But unlike his younger self, Warren no longer panicked when things went wrong. He understood that setbacks were temporary, but value was permanent. He bought shares in small, overlooked companies. He studied businesses that others ignored. Slowly, he built wealth, not through luck, but through discipline. Every gain boosted his confidence. Every mistake sharpened his mind. Each year, his portfolio grew stronger. What set Buffett apart wasn't just intelligence, it was temperament. He didn't care about following the crowd. He cared about following principles. While others chased quick profits, Warren played the long game. He was planting seeds that he knew would grow into trees, if only he waited long enough. The years passed, and Warren Buffett transformed from a curious boy into a disciplined investor. That first mistake at age 11 still lived in his memory, but now it fueled his patience. He founded partnerships, bought companies, and reinvested relentlessly. He focused on businesses he understood, with strong fundamentals and trustworthy management. He didn't just buy stocks, he bought pieces of real businesses. And he treated those businesses as if he owned them for life. Decades later, his company Berkshire Hathaway became one of the largest and most successful holding companies in the world. And Warren Buffett became a legend, not because he was perfect, but because he turned his early mistakes into guiding wisdom. From that first flawed investment in city service to building one of the greatest fortunes in history, Buffett's philosophy is built on timeless truths. Patience is power. Time is the friend of the disciplined. Fear is costly. Decisions made in panic often destroy value. Think long-term. Real wealth is created not in days, but in decades. Buffett often says, the best investment you can make is in yourself, because wisdom, discipline, and character will always outperform luck. So what does Warren Buffett's first investment teach us? That success is not about never failing. It's about learning, growing, reflecting. That failure can be the seed of greatness, if we choose to learn from it. Think about it, if Warren had given up after losing his nerve at age 11, the world would never know his name. Instead, he turned his early loss into a lifelong philosophy. The next time you feel impatient, the next time fear tells you to quit too soon, remember the boy who sold at $40, and the men who could have made thousands, but chose instead to make billions by mastering patience. Patience creates wealth. Fear destroys it. Discipline multiplies it. So ask yourself today, are you living with fear and impatience? Or are you willing to play the long game, like Warren Buffett? Because your future, your success, and maybe even your fortune, depend on the choice you make. Here where we learn, aspire, master, reflect, and evolve together.